Welcome back, everybody, to the Bacon Decker podcast. Ready to talk about another week in our lives and how everything has been going.
Yeah, and where everything's been going for sure. I just turned and got a little bit of a crick in the neck too.
Yeah.
I think we're falling apart at age 23. Almost 24. I am, at least.
Yeah, you're
I'm an old man.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think in age, as far as our body wise, I think you've got me beat. At least falling apart was.
Yeah, the military will do that to you.
It's been an interesting week for me. House is under remodel, as I've talked about a few times, but the ball has really finally got to be rolling. We got a contractor to handle a couple of the things in the house. I think I mentioned the roof is leaking, so we're actually getting a tin roof put on next week. I'm pretty excited for that. I think I mentioned it last week that it was going to be put on, but it hasn't yet. But we're getting it put on this week, going forward. And pretty excited for the tin roof. I've heard a lot of good things about tin roofs compared to shingles, just because, like when it rains, you can hear it hitting the metal and stuff. Supposedly, it's like really relaxing.
It'll nurse you right to sleep.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that. But then we're getting the room mudded, our master bedroom and master bath, or half bath, whatever you want to call it. The bathroom for that room is being mudded, and then we're going to paint it this week coming up too. So a lot of home improvement going on.
Yeah.
For the upstairs, like our personal life area, nothing to do with the studio down here right now, but yeah, that's been going on. Meeting the contractor, he's super nice. When everything's done, I plan to do like a bro down video showing the room after, like before and after shots, and then just showing how the room turned out, and leaving a link to his business, and just anybody that's interested in the area, definitely check it out. But what about you? I know you've been.
Well, I've had an interesting week. So Wednesday morning I was working and threw my back out. So
which happens in our line of work.
Yeah, I was loading the package on one of the trucks, and I guess I just bent the wrong way, and so now it's locked in a certain position that causes me pain when I move a certain way. It was real bad that morning. Luckily, my boss let me have. He'd sent me home that day, and then he let me have the next day off, and it was my choice to come in today, Friday, for work, but I did light stuff. I just did some cleaning of the trucks because basically because of the whole COVID thing, we walk around and we sanitize all the trucks for the drivers, as well as like the facility itself. So I got to do that, so I was taking it easy and still got to work, so that was good. But I went and seen a doctor, I went and seen a chiropractor here, Dr. Elkins. If you're in the area, he's a pretty well-known chiropractor around here.
I need to go. I need to really go with working with
Pepsi.
Just in physical labor in general, going from managing to that. My back hurts consistently day to day, so something's obviously
a foot.
Something's there, but I don't know if it's just a natural pain or if it's just from working or if it's from something more serious.
From what I have read so far into it, it's like everyday life, hard work, overexertion, things like that. That puts strain on your body no matter what. So I'm sure there's something that they, even if it's something little that they can do for you.
Just crack something right.
Yeah, but everybody there is real friendly, knowledgeable. They are. They take good care of the veteran community and active duty military community, because obviously stuff that we do puts a lot of strain on our bodies. So
your back's always hurt. Like you've always had more back pain. Even I remember in high school you would be like, oh, my back is like, when we would sit and play games, every now and then you'd have to like sit
Stand
up or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Which it runs in my family. I got bad genetics, I guess, but
everybody's got something in their family. Something's gonna. Nobody is 100%. I feel like you can be completely healthy and something's gonna hit you somewhere.
Nobody's created perfect these days.
Yeah, between your family, like passing it down, and then going into the military, then going into UPS.
Myself up for failure, man.
Your back is struggling.
But so they took X-rays of me. They took like this. It's like a gun that measures like heat from your nerves. So like if there's like swelling and stuff in like an area in your body, it'll be hotter than the other areas in your body. So they take like a little heat gun and measure, and they can tell where pain's being caused or inflammation is. And then they also took like electrodes, and they measure like, I guess, it passing through your nerves and which ones are registering higher or something like that. I don't understand everything. But basically it pulls up this graph and it's all color coded and like red's the worst, and it was just all over my back, and I was like, well, that's
this
not
explains
good.
a lot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get looked at and hopefully get fixed here soon and get back to working. I got my UPS uniforms today, so that was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious the photo you sent. Maybe you'll put it up on the
I don't know.
Instagram or something. I think would be hilarious to do.
I think provided that I actually pass the course, then I'll put that picture up. But
that'd be pretty cool.
Right now it's just between you and me.
So, yeah. So I mean, you're gonna be a driver, so maybe you won't have to have as much strenuous work on the back at least. Be more towards I mean, it depends on, I guess, the route you go to, and just, I don't know.
Packages and stuff.
I twisted my back at Clark, I think 3 months after I started, and it's kind of the same situation. I was slinging drinks for days and days and days and months, and then I was working 6-7 days a week. And then one of those weeks up there at the end of working 6-7 days a week, I think what I'd done, because I almost redid it again after I got better. I took 2 liter stacks or in cases of 8.
Yeah.
Took one of the 2 liters, and they're stacked up at the 40 cases, so 8 a layer or whatever. So take that last layer and I tried to extend over it, and I think that's when it did it, because I did it again and I felt it kind of snag, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. So I was like, I walked around and put it back up. So I think that's what I did, but it's weird because, like you said, the heat gun and stuff like that. Like, I mean, people used to do way harder jobs than what we have to do, and there was no. Like, it's weird to think that people just went to work with that kind of pain, or our parents or grandparents and stuff. Like, you hurt your back, you just healed, and then or you lived with it almost.
Well, heck, my dad, he's younger than I was, and he, I think he was 19 or something, and he got 2 discs taken out of his back. Cause he was just working in a factory and threw out his back too, and ended up losing a couple discs. I guess
that's crazy.
Herniated them or something, I think is what he said. But I mean, yeah, it runs in my family. My grandfather, he's got 2 steel rods back there, so I mean,
yeah, I'm definitely not from a healthy family either. We've got our share of problems, but back problems other than my mom's issues with her back, which is almost like they don't really know what is causing her pain in her back. But other than that, I really don't have much back problems other than, I think mine's just from working. I think when I twisted it then, and then working in Clark, something's still out of whack. So I wake up hurting.
Well, that's what I think happened, because when I was in the Marines, I went out to a field exercise, and I was out there and I was, just moving ammo boxes, putting them on stack, taking them off stack, and then I just bent the wrong way or something and threw it out. And, it hurt me the rest of the time. Once we got back from the field exercise, I went and seen the medical guys there, and, they were just like, oh, you just need to stretch, oh, here's, some ibuprofen. And then it hurt me again when I was out in Okinawa, and, so they were just like, same thing. Here, just stretch, here's some ibuprofen.
Just live with it, really.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
And then, finally, it happens again, and this time I'm not
You're in that
obliged.
life.
Well, I don't have to go and see military medical. I can go out and see a civilian doctor, and this guy was like, yeah, we're gonna take some X-rays. We're gonna see what's up in there, and he took X-rays, and it's actually messed up. know, so for the military is famous for malpractice or not taking you seriously when you complain about pain, because back pain, knee pain, things like that are really common in the military, so they just chalk it up to, oh, you're just being a wimp, get over it, here's some ibuprofen, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but every person's different. You never know. It's like you said, the history and your family history and stuff, that is always different about the person. So it's and they get so many cases, like you said, it's almost like, what do you do with that flood of amount of people going in for it?
It's like you go in there and you say, oh, my back's hurting. You're like, you and everybody else's back's hurt. So
yeah, what's new? Yeah.
But the thing is, you got guys who are, my size, real skinny, and then we're putting on these big rucks, that are 40, 50 pounds, giving us a rifle that adds, 8 pounds, giving us, our sappies, our flak jackets, and those are 20 pounds, with the plates in them. So it's like, you're putting a lot of weight on somebody
your
my
body
size.
weight.
and I'm only, while I was serving, I was 145 pounds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's over half my body weight.
Yeah.
So, I think that contributed to it, I'm sure, and then obviously
Well, I mean,
doing
even
physical
in
labor and stuff.
elementary
like
school and stuff, they talk about, like, make sure you don't carry too many books in your backpack. And what, I mean, that wasn't 10 pounds on a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that much weight on somebody your age or your size is still going to do damage no matter. So, it's, that's wear and tear. Like I said, any job has different wear and tear. So where you're a driver now, getting in and out of the truck probably is going to be more on your knees or your lower body than your lifting capacity is, depending on your route. If you have to still pick up a bunch of stuff, or as my job, it's a lot of back. A lot of times I just take it easier than I used to because it just takes that one that didn't feel right, and then you're screwed up. Mm-hmm. So I was at Clark. It's just I was slinging fine, and all of a sudden you don't realize how much you use in your body until it doesn't work right.
Yeah, there's a lot of like muscles that you don't realize like you're using to compensate. Like I have good core muscles, but that's because my back is so weak. And same goes for like I got some pretty good shoulder muscles because I don't have big arms. So, I mean, I'll catch myself a lot of the times, carrying even light stuff, and I'm using a lot of my shoulders, and I'm like, dude, I need to relax, you know? Like, this is like a 3-pound package,
Not taking any chances.
But, yeah, I'll be tired at the end of the day, and it's like, why am I so tired? It's because I'm just, tensing up everything when I don't need to, or, compensating.
Yeah, but, at least you let the work know, that way they're aware. That was the first thing when you told me, like, man, I messed up my back. And here we are. We got to move some stuff at my mom's house. She's moving to Florida. So we've got to move some stuff from her house that I'm getting from her to here. And so first person and only person I think to call is William. And William's like, Wednesday morning, dude, I messed my back up. I'm like, well, there's no help in this. So I'm going to pick up a love seat and a bed frame by myself kind of thing. But you're feeling better a little bit. You're going to try to go. My grandfather's going to help me move as well. So, like I said, it's a love seat and a bed frame. More than anything, it's just getting it out the door. I could probably pick it up myself.
Yeah.
But
helping you maneuver it.
Right, yeah.
I can get some of the lighter stuff, like, we take the bed frame apart. I can, lift that stuff.
Shouldn't be too bad, but...
Plus, I'm feeling a lot better than Wednesday, I tell you that much.
The chiropractor probably helped a lot. Did they do anything on your back, or they just did the X-rays and stuff?
Yeah, they just did the X-rays, because what they explained to me was they're going to have to, look in the X-rays, the doctor's going to mark them, he's going to go into detail into them, and then, when my appointment comes on Monday, he's going to actually go in there and explain everything to me and then adjust me.
I think a lot of people think the chiropractor is just, you're going to go in there and get your back popped. That's not what the chiropractor is anymore. There's a lot.
And some are, some will just disregard you and be like, all right, here, let me just
and then you could potentially paralyze yourself if a nerve is pinched the right way or something's wrong, and they just go in and do that. Yeah, then you're in a world of hurt.
That's why good chiropractors will do those things. Take the X-rays, measure.
Because it goes back to the saying that everybody is different. So you don't know what this person has or has been through, or you don't know.
And the thing is like pain is very subjective. So it's like, all right, well, I'm feeling this. So you can't just you measure that. They give you the little 0 out of 10
scale.
But
that scale's different for everybody. So like 1 out of 10, the worst pain you felt could have been minor to somebody else. It's hard to tell until you really get in there. And it's awesome the X-ray and technology they have now to really take care of people. Yeah,
they can see how it's bothering you, how it's affecting. So they had me do a bunch of these crazy positions. They had me lean to the right, to the left. They even took X-rays of like my neck and things like that. So
yeah, that's my neck. I think I just slept. My pillow might have been shifted up too far or something. I woke up the other morning and I was just like,
it's hard to move it a certain way.
So the day after, I had to do resets at Pepsi with one of the guys, and every time resets, what you do is you essentially are refreshing the store for new product and stuff. You got to make room for all that product, but you have to be in coordination with the store. So the store has so much space, and then Clark has so much space, and then, or Coke, whatever you want to call it, and then Pepsi has so much space, and then RC or anybody else. So we've got to go in and work together to see who gets what. But every time you work in a cooler, you pull it all out, and then you put it in cases. Well, normally when I get a case, I just turn my neck like this.
Oh.
And that first day, it was like, I've got to turn my entire whole body. Because I was like, I'm not shifting my neck that way. Because I did it a few times. I caught myself, and I was like, it's just, no, I can't do that. So, I don't know. It's just a crick in the neck. I think I didn't do it while I was working. I just woke up feeling that way. So I don't think I did it at work or anything, unless it just didn't really hit me till later after I slept on it. But I've had that kind of feeling before, and I really just feel like, I don't know if you, as a kid, you ever slept in a weird way, or like on a bus or something. You got like your neck back, and you wake up, and you're like, something.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think that's just what it is. It's just taking some time to heal. Because I still feel it, but it's definitely better than it was the past few days.
I've had to sit with ice on my back, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, just, because it does, and the ice helps so much. Like
they make a soothing like gel too. I don't know if they recommended that to you or not. It's like muscle relaxer. You rub it on your back.
Like
and
Bengay?
Yeah, kind of, but it's a different kind of product, and that's what I used when I twisted my back at work at Clark. Mm-hmm. And Gabby would just rub it on my lower back every night before I went to bed, and it soaks into your back, and it helps the muscles and the nerves and stuff relax.
Yeah.
So you might check into that as well.
Yeah, just about anything, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because what it is, it's like a cold sensation, but then it's almost like a burning sensation after, and it's just because it's drying or whatever.
Hot?
No, it kind of. I don't know what it's called. It might be an off-brand of that.
Yeah.
Necessarily. But,
I don't know, man.
We're just falling apart at age 23.
Yeah, I don't know. Life hits you hard, and you don't, and I think a lot of it has to do with, while you're young, you think, oh, I'm invincible. Oh, I'm not going to start hurting until I'm older, this and that. And you disregard, like, your body's signs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I thought it was so funny. So, going into the Marine Corps, preparing to go to boot camp and all that, they have, like, this motivating saying, pain is weakness leaving the body.
Yeah.
And they always say that, and, to motivate you, and, like, oh, you can push yourself harder and harder and harder, ignore that pain. And when I got to boot camp, and they're kind of teaching us, they had, like, one of the physical therapists that worked at the medical area there. He was giving a class to us about stretching, because we're going to stretch while we're doing PT and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But how important stretching is, and how if you're in pain, not to ignore that, because pain is your body's way of telling you something's wrong. And it's like, well, you're changing the script all of a sudden. Like, I'm supposed to not ignore it. And of course, you're hearing a different thing from the drill instructors, like, quit being a little baby, you're a grown man, quit crying, you're not in pain, you don't know pain, things like that. And
you're just, which one is it?
Yeah, you're just not sure. You're like, so, and they foster such a culture, at least, in the military, of like, all right, you don't need to go to medical, because if you go to medical, you're just basically wussing out everything. You don't, you're being lazy or something like that. So there's a culture of, ignore what's going on in your body. You're fine. You can do more.
Deal with it later.
But then you get like the older guys, the guys who are about to retire, the special forces guys and things like that, who have put all this wear and tear on their body, and then by the time they're retiring or they're in their older age, I mean, they're no, cartilage in their knees, or their back's falling apart,
Yeah.
So, and like I'm saying, like, as you're young, you just don't care, or you don't think about it, or whatever.
Yeah, there's not, I mean, the amount of things I did as a kid that if I tried to do now, there's no telling what kind of damage I would do to my body just in a shifting moment. When we went to that quarry and I fell down and I thought I broke my leg, I probably would at this point. Like, I feel like I would be out and there's no way I could get back up there. But at that moment in time, it's like, my leg feels weird, but I'll walk it off. And then, so it's just, you don't realize how fragile you become so fast. Like, at 23, you wouldn't think you would feel that old, but it does. And then at 30, you feel older, and it catches up to you so fast. I feel like, I can't believe I'm 23 now. Like, looking back, I remember being 16 and 17 and like, I don't care what I do when I get out of high school. I don't care what I do as work, going to college or anything. And then it just sits there, and it's just so fast, moves so fast. Things change. Gabby and I have talked about it a lot this year, being together during the COVID stuff and the wedding. And, a year ago, we had gotten engaged, and before that we hadn't even known each other. So it's just things move so fast.
Yeah.
And the whole saying, life really just flies by. It really, I don't know. It just as a kid or a younger person, you don't think it does, and then boom, it does.
Well, as a kid, like, I don't know what it is, but when you're young, you're just thinking, like, a year is forever.
Yeah.
A year takes so long, and as you get older. And I guess your schedule just starts getting filled with everything.
I mean, I remember in school, you're like, man, Christmas is here. And then it's like, wow, it's going to be another 12 months before Christmas. Now I'm like, it's already getting closer.
It's Christmas time already?
Yeah. Because as an adult, you've got to save up, and you've got family members you're buying stuff for. You're buying
Mm-hmm.
stuff for your significant other, and then it turns into, well, I've got a month worth of paychecks that I can funnel some money into somewhere to get this gift or the. I mean, it's just so much to go into it.
Yeah.
And then traveling, you've got to go to each family member's house.
Oh.
So you've got to account to like, okay, well, Friday we're going here. From Friday we're going to stay the night here and go here Saturday, and then Sunday, and then I've got to work these days. Because a lot of people, they have so much time off for holidays.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had that. I've never, Thanksgiving and Christmas when I was a store manager, I still went into the store to check the temperatures of the freezers to make sure they were working. One Thanksgiving they went out at 3 a.m. My ice cream cooler or freezer turned into a milk cooler. It was like 50, 60 degrees by the time we got everything out of there, so it was no longer ice cream. But I got a day, and then like it's right back to work, where some people, they get like the weekend off, or they get a 3-day weekend for the. I just never had that feeling to where I felt like I had holiday time off.
I will say the military, if you want a lot of holiday time off, working for the federal government's the way to go, especially the military.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was in the military, you accrue 30 days of leave annually. So that's 30 days off you get. And then on top of that, you'll get either a 72, which is the weekend plus a day, or a 96, which is the weekend plus 2 days for holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, come the end of the year, so you got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
The best time of the year to be in the military. And a lot of people will go home and they'll use their leave to go home and all this and that. And I'm just like, think, be smart, because you got Christmas, or you got Thanksgiving, you're getting a 96 for that. And then 2-3 weeks later, you got Christmas, that's a 96 for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then within the next week, you're getting another 96 because you got New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the best time ever to just have, to not waste your leave. You can go any other time of the year to go home and see your family.
Give
right?
you another break,
Yeah.
essentially, somewhere else in the year.
So what I would do is I would go when there wasn't going to, like, there was a big span where there wasn't, like, given days off,
Mm-hmm.
So I would come home at the end of September, beginning of October,
Mm-hmm.
because you got a Labor Day 72, and then there was like a month, until you got your Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
96. So I would go home then, and then I'd enjoy the holidays, because nobody in the military does anything that week between Christmas and New Year's. It just basically shuts down, And the Army, they'll send people home on this thing called Exodus, where, basically the whole base shuts down and a lot of people go home, where there's only, the people who are essential to operations and anybody who wants to stay back anyway. But you got, a lot of people will just go home for the holidays. They'll take their leave, and so they'll assign these things called leave blocks, where you got leave block 1, which is like Christmas, and then leave block 2, which is like New Year's. And so you can go during that week, or you can go during this week, or 2 weeks and 2 weeks or something. I never went home during that time,
Right.
but a lot of people would. And then being on base would be cool, because everything's kind of like a lot less
A ghost
busy.
town almost.
Yeah. So you're just enjoying yourself with the duties that are back watching the barracks. You're like, hey, duty, you want some food or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a ghost town. So you just walk down to the store, the corner store or something. You go grab some food. You drop it off to the duty. You go up to your room and you eat.
Mm-hmm.
You just hang out. And it's the best time ever, because the friends who stay back with you, you just like kick it, and you got all this time
Build
off.
more friendships, more or less. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It was probably the best time of the year when you're in the military. So that's my advice to any of our military listeners is
I find holiday time stressful now.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, it was so cool. It was fun to hang out, and you seen your close family. I didn't have a lot of family I would go travel to see.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that feeling already. So when I met Gabby and her family's very strong on holidays and very close on the holidays. So it was like trying to grasp how to. It's stressful, but in a good way, I guess. Like, I felt tired by the time I got done. I was ready to go home, but I enjoyed the time there. So it's like trying to balance how to be not stressed in a good time. I shouldn't be stressed, but I guess it's just my personality.
No, the holidays are stressful for everybody, I think.
Because it's, like I said, you got to get stuff together for the holiday, the gifts, which I'm always a firm believer. I don't want gifts. I feel like time is the best gift. So when we go to her family's house and stuff, they do gifts, and they do a bigger Christmas than I ever experienced growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's awesome to get those things. But me, I look around and see the laughter, the happiness, the hanging out with the. If we have breakfast at her family, they do a breakfast, Christmas breakfast instead of like a dinner or lunch. Which is super cool to me, and it's great food, and so it's cool. You wake up on Christmas morning, you have the breakfast, and then you do gifts.
Yeah.
And then, but that time for breakfast and stuff, I have more fun than just sitting there watching what everybody gets.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like so many people just look at the materialistic things and not the moments and the experiences. She's lost family members, I've lost family members, and that time you don't get back. You don't get that ever again. So, my advice is just to really look towards the people around you than what you're getting. And as a kid, I never looked at it that way. There's so many Christmases I was just excited what I got. Even in high school and stuff, I didn't have that mentality. I was just like, what am I getting? What am I going to get? Or maybe I can pick what I'm going to get. My grandparents were very lenient during the high school years. Like, they just gave us a number. They're like, well, this is how much we're going to give you. Decide what you want to get with it. We'll take you to Walmart. Instead of doing that traditional Christmas where you had to wait.
Yeah, and just get the surprise. Right?
Yeah, because a lot of times in Christmas breaks in school, you had the week off before. So like as a kid, you just sat there like, well, Christmas is next Saturday. And I'm like, here I am all week beforehand. I'm just going to chill. So I never understood. I guess people that travel, we didn't. So a lot of people that traveled the week before for a Christmas break would go somewhere. Which I think we did one year, maybe a few years. We went to Florida with our dad, with my aunt and uncle that lived there in Florida. So we had a couple Christmases in Florida. It was weird it's still nice outside. Yeah. It's not like burning hot outside, but it was cool outside. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I don't know. I always value the smaller things, definitely now in hindsight, as far as just, I don't look at the materialistic things anymore.
Yeah.
The silver linings, I guess, is how I get through things a lot of times.
I think because I'm not going to say like I necessarily steer away from the materialistic things. No, I don't focus on them at all. I usually try to stay away from like expensive gifts because what I like is to get like a personable one. Mm-hmm. So like I mean, you know me. I'd much rather get you a gift that like you need to use, like you need it for something, like if you like a T-shirt or something.
That's kind of like when Krista got your
my slides. Yeah. I'm a very utilitarian gifter, okay, and I like those type of gifts. Like, if you give me, slides are just the perfect example. I've been saying, hey, I need slides. I've never had slides. I need them, just so I can quick put them on and run outside if I need to instead of having to, like, put my shoes on or something. But I'm not so much of, like, ooh, I got you this nice thing so you can just set it there. A
good example of snow globes. My mom was obsessed with, I guess as a hobby though, people look at things. So if you enjoy them, it's one thing. But like if I get a statue or something, I'm just going to be like, great, I'm going to put the statue somewhere in my house or a snow globe somewhere. It's like, I don't see the reason to get something like that unless you're just an absolute collector of those things, I guess. But yeah, so the people that just give me something, it's like, oh, you can do this with it. I'm like, it's just, I'm going to use it once a year maybe. Tools are different. I mean, like, I always have been a tool person. Yeah. First year with her family, I got a drill set, like a Craftsman drill and the drill set, which is super nice. I was so happy with that. And honestly, it was my favorite gift she got me a pistol that year too. And I was more like, cool, I can use this drill for this, and this. I'm like, how many times am I going to shoot this pistol in a useful situation? So I love both, but it was like the drill was like, well, I could use this for this, or it's got this head for the screws or whatever. So that was just exciting to me. I'm the same way. It's like if I can use it multiple times, that's what I enjoy.
But again, it's also like for personable wise, like I'll get you something like that'll make you think of like something that we've done.
Yeah, so, memorable almost.
So and that's what I like to see is like, oh, no way, I remember when we did this and that, So if I were to get you, like, something that had to do with, like, Battlefield, because we would wake up early in the mornings, in high school and play Battlefield before school, and that would be something, that'd be, like, it'd be cheap.
It's personal.
But, it's personal. Like, it shows our relationship. Yeah. And that's the type of thing I like to see because it's, like, a surprise. You're like, kind of, like, brings up all that flooded memories and...
Well, this year, Gabby and I, we agreed to do no gifts, but the person I was like, nah, I gotta get her something. I felt like that was a trap.
Yeah,
I was like, I've got to get something. Well, we agreed because at the time we were struggling, honestly, between the remodel and shifting jobs and stuff. We didn't have that kind of income. We put it more towards everybody else. So we're like, well, let's not get each other anything. We got the wedding coming up. At that time, it was in May.
Yeah.
So, like, we were already saving for the honeymoon and the wedding for anything we needed. And so I got her a travel bag and then a makeup bag for the honeymoon. So it was like I got her something, but it was something that she would use and she would love to use for the vacation and just anytime she travels. She goes a lot on the weekends to her friend's house or family's house. And so she has a bag now that she can just throw her clothes in, and then she's got her bag separate for all her makeup stuff. So, I mean, she's really big on the makeup stuff. It's the same way as if I was trying to collect something, I would just have a bag for that stuff directly. So the makeup bag doesn't make sense to me, but she loves it, so that's all that matters. So that was, I was like, well, you can use this, but at the same time, I'm throwing this money at something that you will enjoy.
Yeah. Well, I'd say it's getting about time for the Weird Fact of the Week.
It is.
All right. You want to lay on 'em?
Well, you got it over there, don't you?
Yep.
Okay. The Weird Fact of the Week this week is pounds come from the Latin word libra, right? Libra,
I think.
Libra, which means pound.
Yeah. So when you're looking at like weighing yourself here in the United States, and it's like, well, what the heck does LBS mean?
Yeah.
You know, you can look back on that and think, okay,
It's
the Latin
different
word
language.
is Libra for pound. The Latin word for pound is Libra. So
I never thought about it. I don't know.
I've always wondered what it was. I was like, I don't.
Who comes up with this?
I was like, this does not equal pounds.
Yeah.
LBS, there's not a single,
Yeah, why would it just be like PDS or something like pounds? Like something. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's weird. That's just
Weird
the whole
Fact of the
point.
Week. So back on topic. We're getting old, man. Christmas isn't the same. I remember as a kid, Christmas being, a magical time, and now, like you were saying, it's just stressful, or there's just so much to do.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to get to, is having an extra family. I'm sure you experienced it like Krista. It's just, you're going to have that. You've got two families now, so you've got to balance and be nice, and not be nice, but you've got to balance your whole personality, I guess, with a whole new family. And that was interesting the first year and second year to really get that grasp on, these people that I didn't know my whole life. But then Gabby goes and she's completely fine. She's known them all their life. So the same way as
you're
if
just
I go see
sitting
my
there,
family.
just all straight up and
a lot of times
acting.
her family's mentioned that maybe I don't talk as much or maybe I don't say as much. But what I'm doing is I'm really grasping who they are, like what they enjoy. I guess it's weird to do that, but that's how I did in high school. I didn't just go up and talk to somebody and then realize that I couldn't stand them. I sat back and I was like, well, they're cool. I don't have no problem with those guys, or those I might stay clear of because they're just trouble. Yeah. So like I take my time and I really see what they're into, they enjoy, and then I strike up conversations that would make sense to those people. But it's so the first year or something, a lot of them are like, well, he don't talk much, he doesn't say much. I'm not one of those persons who's just going to blurt out information or just start conversations about stuff that I don't know if you're into or not. Yeah. So I wait for the right moment.
If you have something that'll add to the conversation, then you'll jump in. But otherwise,
because this year especially, we've for 4th of July, I went to her families and stuff, and I hung out with her brothers and her brother-in-law a lot more, and we talked a lot while she was off doing her own thing. So I'm kind of fitting into a place where I have knowledge and topics that are interesting to them. I don't just go up and strike a conversation really with her sister or her mom that we don't really share much. So I talk to them and I'm fine with, but you know what I mean. Like I remember clearly with my family, the dads and the grandfathers just sitting on the couches watching the game or whatever, and you've got the girls in the kitchen cooking and making the food or whatever, and you've got the kids just running around or they're doing their own thing. So that's how I portray things. So I don't really like intermingle with every single group. I just intermingle with where I kind of fit in. Yeah. So like I'm with the guys, we're having a couple beers and we're ready for 4th of July fireworks, and then the girls are just gossiping, talking, or hanging out in the pool or whatever. So it's just that's how I look at it.
Yeah. No, when I guess Krista's family first started getting to know me, I was raised very much to be like the Southern gentleman type. There's certain mannerisms that you just follow, like you don't just get up and get something yourself, or and you don't ask, you just wait, you know. So for instance, you come over to the house and it's like, all right, you want anything to drink? that's usually like the first thing you hear, you know,
Yeah.
or like when you come over for a meal, you know, the guests eat first, things like that, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just so used, you know, and they were like, oh, you know, all right, and they did do the whole go ahead and get you a plate or something like that. Of course, my mindset is, all right, I eat last.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different reason for that. But, you know, they were like, we're not going to serve you, so, you know, just get up and get whatever you want. The fridge is over there, you know,
Yeah.
the drink fridge is over there, whatever. So it's like, oh, well, this is kind of weird, you know, because everything for me is like, all right, you got to be polite. So being polite means this, and this,
You
and this.
really wait on them,
you know.
more or less, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting there, you know, and I'm quiet and I'm reserved and all that stuff because, again, like you were saying, you got to get to know them and all this and that. And you're kind of gauging, you know,
You don't want to really say
talk to each
something
person,
wrong.
you know, yeah.
You know, you don't want to step on any toes by accident, and not even mean it at all. So you're like, I don't want to mess up and say something that I didn't mean that way.
Yeah. Like, for instance, I'm not a big sports person. All right, I just grew
Neither
up.
of us are.
Yeah. Not you know. I mean, I like basketball. I played basketball 1 year when I was in elementary school, but nothing never came of it, obviously. But it was like I liked it. It was a good sport. You know, if I was going to play one, that was going to be the one to do it. But I never. It didn't really like. I'd rather be out there doing it than just watching it on TV. You know? But
that's the only one I can watch is football, but I think it kind of portrays in the same way. Is I was asked to play football in middle school, 8th grade, and then high school they wanted me to play again. I was like, it's not me. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
It's just not my personality. And so I always seen those jocks types. I'm like, nah, I don't want that kind of vibe. So I didn't. But I think that's why. So a guy my size, the first question I ever get from anybody is like, so where'd you play football? Did you play football any? Did you ever go to football games? I'm like, nah, it's not me. I'm the nerd, big fat nerd. All right, that's not. I didn't play football, but I mean, I could hit somebody if I had to.
If you would have played football, buddy,
I felt like my life.
Heavy hitter, dude.
Who knows? You know, I look back on it sometimes. Maybe I should have went into it, and
Yeah.
maybe I gotten a scholarship or something and actually went to college for something. Who knows? I also probably had brain damage, so you know, because I've been on the front line. It's dangerous. Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna be the quarterback or something. So I'm just gonna be that dude ready to hit somebody.
But yeah, her family's big into sports. They're big UK fans, so you know, I'll sit there and I'll watch the game with them. You know, and I'll get into it. You know, I can read a crowd, and I know enough about basketball to where I can sit there and be like, okay, well, this is what's going on. I know how to play and all that stuff. So I can get into it and I can still have a good time. But you know, it's not my thing particularly. But
yeah, you don't go home and look up the scores or anything.
But it's still fun, and I like to get to see her family because obviously she lives down here in Bowling Green and they live up in Lexington, so there's a lot of distance and we don't get to go see them all the time. But you know, I like her family. I like to spend time with them, and you know, I think they like me, or at least it's what they say.
If they didn't, you would know. There would be a clear sign. I'm speaking from experience. It would be a clear sign that they didn't like you. So, like you said, if you can read a room, you could tell the vibe was not there.
Yeah.
So that's like we've talked about in the relationship one, I believe, and maybe some of the story of our life. It's just the relationship with your in-laws or future in-laws is a big thing for me and Gabby for sure. And I think any relationship, you've got to have that connection to where you can stand them and you can be around them. If you can't, it just puts a strain because blood's always thicker. As far as like a lot of times, if they don't approve of something, it puts a strain on that person. No matter if they don't agree with it or not, that approval of your family.
Yeah, it's always there's going to be a friction there. So
I've always tried to be the nice guy, well, maybe we could go about it the right way. Gabby's more explosive, so like if something doesn't sit right with her and her family, they just let it out. Whereas my family, I've learned that if I let it out, my family is just fine. I don't want to talk to you. Well, fine. If you don't agree with me, then we'll just disagree.
Yeah.
And then you don't talk to that person. Her family, they dish it out and they work through it and they fix the issues. Whereas my family, so a lot of times when I have some issue with my family, I just don't say anything about it because if I blow up over it,
I'm the same.
it's just I don't forget those moments for me. Yeah. So then every time I see them, I'm like, you remember when we got in that spat and I stormed out and I didn't see you for 3 months? You're not going to mention it again, but I still remember it. So I guess it's just a matter of you remember those issues and stuff. Yeah, so if it can be forgotten and it's not something to dwell on, I try to look at it that way. So like if it's not worth fighting over for another week or two, you just forget it and move on. Everybody's different. So I try to keep an even playing field.
There's patience. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of work and all that over time. What I was going to say is, so I'm very I keep my family circle real small, right?
Yep.
You know, there's only a handful of family members. I can count on both hands how many family members I see regularly.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, maybe on my toes ones I see a little bit
yearly.
Yeah, and then everybody else I just disregard.
Yeah.
Krista is like so close to like every single family member she has. I mean, she just is. I don't understand how you can do that. Like,
Gabby's got so many brothers and sisters. So when we got together, she's like, so and so. I'm like, I need a picture with like a face with a name.
Yeah.
Like I almost need like a yearbook. Like, okay, this is who. This is okay. So this one. Talk to this one, and this one doesn't
lay
like
out all
this
the relations
one.
for
Like,
me.
Yeah. I need like one of those cross diagrams where you like connect the lines, the name of the. Because for me, it's I've got Hunter. Hunter is my brother and the only sibling I have. So there's like, it was very quick for her. So like, oh, so this is your mom, this is your dad, this is your stepmom, this is your brother, this is your grandparents, this is your grandparents or your great aunt, and like there was this, like you said, tight grip. Like I have family in Portland, and I have family that I see yearly, or when something, when the family needs to come together. But I don't, like you said, like on your toes or whatever. Those are the ones I see yearly that, we keep in touch, but it's not Facebook friends, I guess.
Not close enough to like see regularly.
Because it's just hard for me to keep up with. Even my close family now, they're just like, oh, what are you doing now? What are you doing? I'm like, working. They're like, oh, what do you do afterwards? Or are you free this Saturday? Or I'm like, no, I'm working. Or I
got this going on. And that happens when you get old. All of a sudden, you don't have nearly as much free time as you
I think it's hard for my grandparents too, because we lived with them for so many years. So there was like, we were at home all the time. We didn't do sports. We didn't go to a lot of friends' houses except for us to play airsoft. But they would take us there. So they were very close. And anytime we were always the ones that had friends over, more or less. So they really felt like there was that bond. So as soon as I got out into the world, I started working. I was gone 50, 60 hours a week at Save-A-Lot. And then I went from that to Clark, and then they retired and moved out, and I got the house here. So then really didn't see each other, because then they didn't see me coming home from work, going to bed, or for dinner or anything. So it was hard for them, and it's hard for me too, just to have that shift in.
Because you are close to them.
Yeah. And I talk to them weekly, sometimes daily throughout the week, just as I just talk to them. It's a close relationship, and that I'm so thankful for all that they gave me. I'm probably making them cry right now because they watch the podcast. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to make y'all cry, but
what's funny is I probably talked to your grandparents more than I talked to some of my family.
Yeah, they were almost the grandparents of the group a lot of time. I mean, a lot of the friends will tell you, "Oh yeah, your grandparents are cool. I've seen your grandpa here. I've seen your grandma here."
Well, like you said, this was where we would come. Austin.
We had the pool. We had the airsoft stuff. We just. It was either your house or my house. We were definitely the foundations of the friend groups.
Well, that I always look back on it. That's just some of the best memories. Just having all of our friends together and getting the
And I hope we gave them some kind of foundation too. We, like we said, you don't know what those people are going through. So maybe that time when we got them to come out and play airsoft was really a highlight of their childhood. So I'm really glad that we were able to give other kids, places that. I mean, I didn't have the best foundation as far as family goes. Like, I was wishy-washy with my parents growing up. So it was like that one solid piece that I had was my grandparents' house and being able to have fun and do what I wanted to and enjoy time as a kid.
Yeah.
So I hope that some of the kids that we had growing up, I mean, a lot of them either went to the military or, a few of them had some, like, struggled with the law and stuff. So it's, I mean, you could tell there were some troubled kids there that I hope that helped some way. I wish we'd helped more.
Yeah.
Or been there more for them. Like if you'd known what we know now. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the problem with growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this goes back to we talked about the suicide stuff in the last one. Just be there for people. Don't assume they have the same life that you do, or assume they have the same privileges that you do. Just really kind of treat everybody equally to where you. Just give everybody a chance.
Yeah, do the best you can with everybody.
I see so many people in the job that I have. I don't know if you do. Maybe you do some, but being out and about, just like so many people just get so angry so fast at people they don't know. So like somebody cuts somebody off, like your first instinct is to cuss that person, but like maybe they just didn't see you. It's like it's very hard to have that control. But then those people that follow those people and then cuss them out and then like are at their window, I'm like, how do you have that much anger and hate to somebody they made a mistake, it's hard for me to. I don't have that. Like if somebody cuts me off, I'm like idiot, and then but that's it. Like I'm just saying it. Maybe they didn't see me, you know. So I'm not the best example, I guess, of it. But
well, like I don't even lay on my horn. You know, like a lot of people go, and I'm just like,
I have to laugh. If you sit to the point where the light turns yellow, then I've hit my horn.
Yeah.
But if you're just like I don't wait, and it's like green honk.
Yeah, some people do that.
Yeah, it's just instant. I'm like, dude, I just hit the gas. But I don't know. It's just so much aggression now. So that's wow. Already 46 minutes in, or roughly 46 minutes in of raw footage. So it's cool.
Yeah, lot to, I guess, cut down.
Mm-hmm. And I got a haircut.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. You bald,
I'm sure everybody's seen it. Obviously, with the mask mandate, it is hot. Like trying to wear it for. You
even trimmed the beard, I think.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's down to hardly nothing. Like it's grown out since I cut it. I think it was. I was off. I want to say Sunday. I cut it Sunday, I believe. Mm-hmm. So from right after the podcast, actually, I cut it. Yeah. From the last one they seen. My hair grows back fast though, so I don't go to the barbershop right now just with everything going on. Mm-hmm. This is just I cut it and then she Gabby lined up the back for me just because I couldn't see it. But with the mask thing going on, man, it's just so hot and so trying to wear something that's breathable but that doesn't burn up your neck. A lot of people have like the neck gaiters or whatever that you're fishing and hunting. The backside's hot on your neck, so I've rigged something up to where I can breathe through the front, but it's not hot on the neck. But I still. Just short hair for now. Mm-hmm. I like long hair for like the YouTube stuff and like persona. Yeah. It's just working wise. It's just
come winter time you can grow it all out, but in the summertime you just gotta shave it sometimes. Mm-hmm. I know I'm having trouble with this mop I have on my head.
But got that hat hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my head's too big for even a hat. Like we got a Pepsi hat for like the gear or whatever we get. They support or they provide everything. Mm-hmm. So they gave me a hat. I'm like, I gave it to one of the drivers because he's like, oh, you got a hat? I'm like, here, take it. I can't wear it. He's like, well, you can extend it. I'm like, even on the last extension, it still don't fit right. I'm sorry. Just hats are not my thing.
Squeezes your head too much?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like to wear hats when I have not done my hair.
I feel like you wear hats 90% of the time, like even at home and stuff.
So I'll wear it if I'm outside because I can't wear sunglasses, so I need something to kind of keep the sun out of my eyes. And then
I guess it's essentially why I always see you with a hat then, because most of the time we're either outside or you're on your way here.
Yeah.
And so it's
but then hat. I wear it at work and I wear it out in town if I haven't done my hair. Mm-hmm. So I'll wear it at work just because my hair is a mess. I got bedhead and I have to get up early in the morning. Don't feel like doing my hair. And then I'll only wear the hat out in town if I haven't like styled it or brushed it or something like that. Otherwise, because it's bad if you wear a hat all the time. But if you guys are wondering why I have the hat on, and at the beginning I didn't have the hat on, it's because I didn't style my hair. So
you carried then, but you're like just throw the hat on for this thing.
Well, sometimes like you said, we got busy schedules.
Yeah, right now it's hit or miss. They were here mudding the room this morning, and we planned for 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and it turned into 1 to 2 o'clock because it just took longer for them to do it. So yeah, it's just we pushing an episode where we can throughout the week because it is weekly now. We were a week ahead at the beginning, and it was weird for us to do that, but at the same time it gave us that break to like, so which one's coming out this week? So we were like looking back the week what we had.
Now it's like we got to get this done right now.
Yeah. So this is up. We're recording this week. We're recording on Friday, and it is going to be put up Saturday at 5 p.m. So it's like after this we edit it, put it up, ready to go the next day. So. Scheduled for 5 p.m. If you aren't aware of the schedule, it is 5 p.m. on Saturday as of now. I think we're going to stick to that for foreseeable future for sure. Mm-hmm. It's working out because it doesn't really matter as long as we get the episode in. So it gives us a whole week to put it up at the end of the week. And I think a lot of people watch it on Sundays, at least from the viewership that we're seeing. It's Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, sometimes Monday. Like it's hit or miss. So like the video goes up Saturday. We get a couple of views that night, great. And then everybody has more free time. Yeah. A lot of people are off on Sundays.
Podcasts are a commitment, it's a lot longer, there's a lot more going on, you kind of want to pay attention, you got to have a moment to pay attention. So I listen to podcasts at work, I'm allowed to have one earbud in while I'm working, so I'll have that in and I'll be playing a podcast while I'm working, because I don't like having music playing really loud in my ears, because I like to be able to hear if somebody calls my name, or, I like to hear if somebody's coming so I don't bump into them when I come out of a truck or something. So having somebody just talking, and it also kind of brings up good ideas for our podcast or just things to talk about with friends or family.
And I see it from a YouTube side of point, so I see the video side. So like every time I talk or I see anything, I'm thinking of the video aspect, whereas you listen to the audio only kind of thing. Me, I'm a YouTube guy, so I watch YouTube videos, so the visual effect is what I see.
Yeah.
So when we decide this, we're like, I think we need to put a video up just because that was what I'm used to. So like audio only to me is weird because like I could sit any way I wanted to. We could sit in recliners. We could sit.
Yeah.
There's no profession to just audio only. Is just I like having the video to also put me in a mindset.
And also, we got like, we're touching a lot of
close friends,
areas
family too. As well.
Like maybe somebody doesn't want to just listen to us, like they want to see us and they want to see how we're interacting and how we're reacting and things like that.
And to each other too, like we said, if something happened to one of us, we've got these audio files, but also the video files that we can look back on and just remember that person, remember each other. So it means a lot down the road. Obviously, I don't wish bad upon either one of us, but I think a lot of people miss that. I wish I could hear them talk one more time or hear them laugh one more time. So
to have this kind of like set in stone,
it'll be up forever. It's not going anywhere. So that's about all the time we have today, though.
That's gonna do her.
Yeah, for sure.
So catch us again next week.
Saturday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I know everybody's got some.
Add that in.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I've got some viewers from some different parts of the world, so it's good to know at least what. I'd hate for somebody to get on me like, well, they said 5 o'clock.
And it's
midnight here.
Yeah. So, catch us again next week. Thank you for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? If you're listening on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of the other listening platforms.
What's the saying? Anywhere you get podcasts.
Yeah, anywhere you get podcasts. Thank you for listening. I don't know. I'm not sure if you like things on those platforms. You can follow us on Spotify. I know that. I'm a Spotify user myself. So you can follow our page, Bacon Decker Podcast, and you'll get updates on, when we post new episodes.
You can check out Instagram too. What is it? Bacon Decker.
Yeah. Bake_and_Decker_pod.
Might try to fix it a little bit. Make it a little bit easier access, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a little bit easier to say and remember.
Yeah. That way you can check out some of the behind the scenes stuff that we do here and further like down the road. We're gonna try to. I know you put up a couple. I think you put up one thing this week as far as like the shelves and stuff. So it's just kind of interacting with you guys a different way. So if you are not familiar with Instagram or on there, you can interact that way with us as well.
Yeah.
So that's gonna do it for us, guys. Thanks for watching. See you all next week.